Okay, in this video I recap the mixture tables, and that's the end of this standard here. If you get bored after my first 4 examples, okay, you can go work the assignments, the last 4. It starts with number 2, 1, 3, and 4, okay. So the first one, it says a hair salon receives a shipment of 84 bottles of hair conditioner to use and sell to customers, okay. The 2 types of conditioner are type A and B. Type A costs $6.50 per bottle, and B is going to cost $8.25 per bottle. The hair salon's invoice for the conditioner is $588. How many type A and type B bottles are bought? So that's your 2 answers, and there's 3 units combined together. Okay, and we have A, B, and then together, and there's how many per and total, and put the $sign above per and total. So first off, okay, you look for a total money total together, and you have one in this problem, $588. Okay, and then how many is non-money related? You see 84 bottles, but it's not A or B. And then A and B are identified as variables X and Y. Okay, now, per, and hold off before you cross that out. You can cross that out only if, yeah, okay. So type A is $6.50. Type B, I got $8.25, okay. That's, I don't have anything else, so I go on from there. So that's 650X. It's 825Y. So I have a system for X and Y that I'm able to solve, okay? So X plus Y equals 84, would be ones. And I know these have decimals, but just use the decimals, okay? They're not like percents, so plus 8.25Y equals 588. So I'm going to multiply the top by 650 and the bottom by 1. Okay, so 650 times 1x is 650x plus 650y. Then I take 84 times 650. That's 546. Okay, and then the bottom remains unchanged. So 650x plus 825y equals 588. Okay, we make these all negatives. Those cancel. And 6.50 plus negative 8.25 is negative 1.75y. And then I take 546 plus negative 588, and that's negative 42. I divide by negative 1.75. And negative 42 divided by negative 1.75 is 24. Okay, and that's my Y. So my B, that's my... Okay, and then I use the 1x plus 1y equals 84. Okay, so 1 times 24 is 24, so 1x plus 24 equals 84. Then I subtract 24, and that's 60. Okay, so pretty easy to get the answer there. Okay, my next problem. A bank loans out $60,000. Part of it is loaned at 12% interest, and part of it's at 14% interest. If the interest received is $7,700, how much was loaned to each rate? Now I see percent, so it's 9 boxes, but it's set up differently, okay? So I put my low percent, my high percent, and I don't have another percent, so I call this together. Okay. And then the labels is different. We're not going to go how many per and single, okay, or how many per and total. We put our percent, and then we put the dollars, the units on each one. Okay, so my percents, I divide these by 100. So 12 divided by 100 is 0.12. and 0.14. I don't have a percent there. Okay. Now the money, okay. Now you got two money amounts, and they're in the together column because it doesn't say they're at 12 or 14. Okay, that's our job, is to find that. Okay, we put the higher amount on top and the lower amount on bottom. And then right here we go X and Y, because whenever I know the together but not these separately, X and Y is how to define that. So it's 0.12X and 0.14Y. And then I see the two equations right here. Okay. And I make a system. X plus Y could equal 60,000. And then bottom, I don't like these decimals, so I times by 100. And that gets rid of the decimals. So that's going to be 12X plus 14Y. And then 77,000 when you times it by 100. And then put ones in front. You're going to multiply by 12 here and by 1 here. So it's 12X plus 12Y. Then I take 60,000 times 12, and that gives me 720,000. Bottom 12X plus 14Y. Negative, 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 and that makes negative 2Y. Then I add those together. Negative 50,000, okay? Then I divide by my negative 2, that's 25,000. So that's your Y. So $25,000 are at 14%. The beauty with percents is once you have your first answer, you can just subtract 25,000. I mean, you can put 25,000 in there if you want, but 35,000. The other answer on a percent problem, okay? And on any XY problem, pretty much, you just subtract. Okay, next one's a little bit different. A manager of a Starbucks store is mixing Colombian coffee, which is $5 per pound, with Arabica, whatever, is $10 per pound. At the end of the month, we have 50 pounds of the Arabica coffee left. The store manager decides to mix the remaining 50 pounds with some Colombian coffee. He decides to sell the new blend for $8.50 per pound. How many pounds of Colombian coffee should be in the new mixture to ensure that the amount you make separately is the same as the mix? Okay, so again, 3 units. You got Colombian, Arabica, and then together. You don't have percents now. Now you're back to the how many per in total, and get that $ above per in total. Okay, now total money together. I don't know that because these money amounts are per pound, so they can't be the money total together. Okay, so I don't know this. Okay, now find me the non-money amount. 50 is the only one, and that's the Arabica coffee. So I put 50. Cross out both 50s in. That's just repeated information. Now the Colombian coffee's X, and then I need to write the together expression as X plus 50. Okay? Because I'd add them together. All right, now money per, I actually have 3. I got $5 per pound. That's a Colombian. Arabica's 10. And the $8.50 per pound is when you put them together. You mix them, you blend them. $8.50. Okay, now the bottom row, it's easy. You take 5x times 5. 50 times 10 is 500. And then I got a plus here, so I need to distribute the $8.50 to each of those. So that's going to be $8.50 X plus 50 times $8.50 is $4.25. Now remember where the equals is at, it's here. So I have 5x plus 500 equals 8.50x plus 425. Okay, so we subtract 5x from both sides. That's 3.5. Then I subtract 425, and that would be 75. So I have 75 equals 3.5x. And I divide, I get a little decimal, like a big decimal, 21.4. So that's how many, so 21.4 pounds of the Colombian coffee. Okay, a scientist wants to make 6 milliliters of a 30% sulfuric acid solution. The solution needs to be made from a combination of 20%. That's like how much do you pour in from each bucket to get to 6 milliliters of 30%. And a 50% sulfuric acid solution. How many milliliters of each solution are combined to make a 30% solution? Okay, again, you got a bunch of percents. Okay, so we put the low, followed by the high, and then the middle. It goes low, high, middle. So again, a percent, we put the percent in the middle, then the outside tables are for the other unit, 6 milliliters, so it must be ml. Okay, so my percents I do first. 20 divided by 100, 0.2, or 20. 0.5 or 0.50, and 0.3. You're dividing the percents by 100. Okay, now cross all those percents out. And the only thing I see for milliliters is 6, and that's of 30%. So that goes in the 30% column. That's X, that's Y. So we're going to have 0.2x, 0.5y, and 6 times 0.3 is 1.8. So again, I have a system that I need to work with. X plus y equals 6, and 0.2x plus 0.5y equals 1.8. Oh no, sorry, I don't want that. I need to multiply these by 100. My bad. So that would be 20x plus 50y equals 180. So we're going to times the top by 20 and the bottom by 1. Okay, anytime when we're dealing with these percents, when I get to the bottom, I want to multiply by 100 so it takes it out a decimal. So 20x plus 20y equals 120. And the bottom 20x plus 50y equals 180. These all go negative. That's negative 30y. When you add, that's negative 60. So I divide by negative 30 and I get 2. Okay, so that's 50 milliliters there. And to find the other one, you can just subtract 2, and that would be 4. Because 4 and 2 would add up to 6. Okay, a nut store normally sells cashews for $9 per pound and almonds for $3.50 per pound. At the end of the month, there are 60 pounds of almonds left, so the manager decided to mix the 60 pounds of almonds with some cashews. And he's going to sell that mixture for $7.50 per pound. How many cashews should be mixed with the almonds to ensure no change in revenue? So we're finding the pounds of cashew. So again, 3 units. Almonds, cashews, and then together, no percent, okay? How many per total? Okay, I look for a total cost, but I don't have one, okay? So I have to put an expression in there. Now, the only non-money number is 60, but that's pounds of almonds. So cashews is X, and I write that as X plus 60. Cross out the 60s, okay? Now, dollars per. Well, I got $9 per pound. That's almonds. Got $3.50 per pound. That's or no, that's cashews. My bad. 9 is. Okay, and then 350s for the almonds. Remember to read the problem. And then 750 per pound's the mixture together. Okay, now I'm out of digits. Now I got to work with what I have. So I take 60 times 350, 210. And that's written as 9x. And then here I got a plus, so I have to distribute 750. So that's 750x plus. Then I take 60 times 750, and that's 450. Remember where the equals is at. It's right before you're together. So we have 210 plus 9x equals 750x plus 450. So I subtract 750x. That's 1.5x plus 210 equals 450. Then we will be subtracting 210, and that's 240. Then I divide by 1.5. So 240 divided by 1.5 is 160. So I need 160 pounds of the cashews. Okay. The members of an outing club take a tubing trip down a river. The company offers small and large tubes for a trip. Large tubes cost $15. Small tubes cost $7.50. The club spends $360 for 26 tubes. How many large and small tubes were purchased? Okay, so we got small, large together. How many per total? Okay, we do have a total cost together. We know it's $360. Okay, how many? I see 26, but it doesn't say small or large, so that's together. And then I X, Y. The top row we always want filled out. Okay. Okay, now money per. Okay, that means when they say they cost $15, that means a small tube is large tube's 15, small tube 750. Now we don't need this filled out. Okay, battery's about to die.